We have all heard of Sigmund Freud, the famous father of psychoanalysis who can symbolically dissect the human mind. At school, we left through the pages of philosophy books and learned some information about his life and his deeply energized beliefs about him. Well, some of the topics caught out of interest, but most people didn't go beyond the simple school environment. Let's face it, many of us have memorized a small paragraph, exposed it to the teacher, and forgotten everything in the space of the few months. So today, Freud's Bones review the human psyche in all nuances. Video games can play a fundamental role in this scene, since they allow us to enter the history, art, and traditions in a completely genuine and carefree way. We are passionate about some historical periods without even realizing it. And in this case, to contribute in this direction was a young graduate in psychological science and techniques who decided to learn each single process related to the video game development. Her visceral love of psychology has turned into an undoubtedly simple but incredibly effective and direct adventure. Thus was born Freud's Bones, a sort of point and click that projected us directly into the studio of the Sigmund Freud, that feared Austrian psychoanalyst. Axel Fox, aka Fortuna Imprinole, has chosen not to use ways of censorship and to represent this man in the most naked and true essence of him. He is a gruff, manic, cold, and silently emotionless being. We have known him as the king of perversion and extreme sex, marked by an addiction to cocaine and tobacco that can permeate every single chapter of the game. What has surprised us with the time, the possibility of entertaining his mind and knowing a side of his figure that we have often ignored. Freud is a fragile man, more than his own patience. In this video game experiment, he is real clinical cause of Fortuna assigns a virtual notebook which we will have to psychoanalyze it. In short, we must strip the minds of the others, identify the tricks that gnaws every speck of sanity. To learn the right skills, we can make use of the 4 patients, each with a decisively particular methodical record, started with the sometimes very delicate episodes. Therapeutic sessions are interactive fulcrum par excellence and offer the possibility to analyze every single aspect of the patient just like a professional would. In all honesty, with the wired the demo versions, we feared that too much information available could end up being confusing and inaccessible. Without our pressure, we can confirm the opposite. The etiology, clinical cases, letters, etymology of prescribed drugs turn out to be bred for our information-hungry minds. Every detail ought to be important, smooth and clear, without ever confusing us. We also particularly appreciated the possibility of choosing how to face the sessions with our particular limbs. This contributed to making us live a unique and even more stimulating experience. Patient stories have been more and more compelling, although at times they can become frustrating because we couldn't get in tune with their needs. The approaches available are truly manifold. It is possible to remain silent and hope that the person concerned will vent spontaneously, or to adopt a more reassuring form of contribution. Whichever path we chose, we will experience a unique ending that could make us turn up noses or make us proud of ourselves. We must not forget, however, that our main task is to put Freud back on the right path. His mind is full of obsessive thoughts and dangerous weakness, and this will affect even the sessions with the patients. We could decide to stop using drugs, but it will certainly not be that simple. In some cases, Sigmund will have seizures so severe that he will be forced to take cocaine or smoke a cigar. Doing it the last opportunity moments would even lead to dramatic consequences. However, what further surprised us was the dynamism with which the brief experience involved us. It's in fact possible to occasionally leave the studio and stroll through the typical streets of Vienna, between and eventually at the cultured Café Ekman, rigorously spent tapping money from begotten middle-class bourgeois, and a stroll with the faithful dog Joffy. You will experience an adventure that is as simple as surprising. Every single detail is well throughout packed, offering the player opportunity to test themselves and take the complicated path of empathy. Having high expectations of the game made by a known ways is downright difficult. Worse still, projecting gamers into the world of psychoanalysis risk, leading to a tremendously confusing jubilation of clinical terms. It is an arduous and risk journey, but the Freud bones manages to be within everyone's reach. To further enrich this expectation, contribute the experienced kinematic and gives a clear chance to captors, engaging the gear naturally without even forcing necessary. Even the musical sector turned out to be very pleasant, and in some cases it perfectly reflected Freud's dark and twisted soul. Obviously, the title is localized in all languages, so you can face the therapeutic session in total tranquility and clarity. In short, the famous father of psychoanalysis presents himself as an enemy, but during this brief experience lasting about 2 hours, he finally managed to emerge a part of us. It is an adventure absolutely recommended for lovers of the genre, but it can entertain anyone who wants to test themselves and hone their communication skills. On the other hand, as you will see, even the best needed help. We are terribly beautiful human, and the frayed bones remind us that whenever we live runs through our veins without us being able to resist. It must be admitted, however, this is not the always easy to understand. Sigmunds would say we are not able to intervene the dreams of the another person, unless he is prepared to communicate the unconscious thoughts that are hidden behind its content. And would you be ready? Thank you for watching. Go and play if you are interested in such indie